Welcome again to Physics Online. We are going to solve this question about net force. So let's have a recap. What do we mean by force? Yes, force is a push or a pull. Then, is a force a vector or a scalar quantity? Yes, force is a vector quantity because it has both magnitude and direction. Then, what is the SI unit of force? The SI unit of force is Newton. So we say force has both direction and magnitude. So direction can be to the left, or westwards, then to the right or to the east direction. Then we can have a force upwards or to the northern direction. Then we have a force downwards or to the southern direction. So that describes the direction. We can have a force of 75 Newton, for example. So 75 Newton is the size or the magnitude of the force. Now let's look at this question. It reads, state the net force and the direction for each of the following setups. So we said net force is the sum of all the forces acting on a body. So to start with the part A, we have three forces as you can see. We have a force of 75 Newton, we have a force of 75 Newton, and lastly the force of 150 Newton. So for you to work out this, let's have the solution. Remember, what are we finding? The net force and the direction. So we want to find the net force and to which direction will the object move. Yes, when the resultant force is acting on it. So for you to work this out, you consider the forces. Now you consider forces to the left as negative, then forces to the right as positive, then we have forces downwards to be positive, then forces upwards to be negative. Now let's work out this one. What did we say net force is? Net force is the total sum of all the forces acting on a body. Now we have to find the total sum of these three forces. So what will be the sum of all? So what will be the force, net force? Let me write it, denote it like this way, F net. So we have forces to the right. So the forces to the right is 75 and 75. And we should consider them positive. So we have 75 plus 75. We are finding their sum plus. What's the other force? 150. And it is to the left. It is to the left. Therefore, it is negative. So it will be negative 150. So 75 plus 75 is 150. Then we have positive and negative here. So positive times negative. We open this bracket, so it will be positive times negative. So it will be negative 150. So 150 minus 150 is 0. So this will be the F net, which is the net force. So the net force here is 0. Now, the second part of the equation, and the direction. We therefore find the direction. So if the net force or the resultant force is 0, meaning there will be no effect. The zero force or 0 Newton, it is 0 Newton. So 0 Newton will not have any effect on this object. The force on this end is equal to the force on this end. Now it won't move. Therefore, the direction, we can say it will be stationary. The direction is stationary. The object remains stationary. You can say the object remains stationary. So it won't move to either of the directions. So this body will remain stationary. Yes, and that's the solution. So the net force is 0 Newton and the direction is stationary. It will neither move upward, downward, or to the right side or to the... It will neither move to those direction. Part B. We have this body here. So we have this body. We have 3 forces acting on this body. We have 10 newtons downwards, 10 newtons upwards, and 30 newtons to the left. So you first identify, will the forces be negative or positive? So we have 30 newtons. To which direction? Yes, to the left. So 30 will be negative. Then we have 10 newtons downwards. Downwards it will be positive. Then we have 10 newtons upwards. Upward it will be negative. Now we have negative 10 newton, negative 10, and negative 30. So here, to find the net force, it is the sum of all these 3 forces. So we have 10 newton plus, this one is negative 10 because it is acting upwards. Then we have plus negative 30 because it is acting to the left. So let's find the solution here. It will be 10. We open the bracket, positive times positive. This will be negative 10. Then here will be negative 30. Right? So we'll have 10 minus 40 Newton. So what is 10 minus 40? What's your answer? 10 minus 40 is negative 30 Newton. So here the net force can be negative 30 Newton, or you can say it is equivalent to 30 Newton. So 30 Newton is considered as the net force. So we have a net force of negative 30. Negative 30 means what? Negative means to the left or upward. So it will move 30 newtons to the left. It will be 30 newtons to the left. So the direction, the net force is 30 newton, but the direction will be left, or you can say westwards, to the west direction. So it is to the left or to the west, to the left or to... Now someone can ask, it is negative. Now if it is negative, why can't we consider it as upwards, the direction as upward? Because upward direction, I said, is negative. Now here we can't say it won't move upwards because we have already two opposite forces, 10 Newton and 10 Newton. The two cancel, meaning a force, the resultant force vertically is 0, meaning it won't move either upwards or downwards. Yes. Then we can consider the first body, or these forces will result to balanced forces. The object will be balanced. When the net force is 0, it means the body is balanced. It won't move to either direction. But when the resultant force is greater than 1 or is greater than 0, it will lead to, the forces will be considered unbalanced. So we have unbalanced and balanced forces. And that's the end of our today's lesson. Thank you. Bye bye.